Okay, so moving on to the dollar index and precious. So dollar index pretty quiet really has edged a little bit higher from Wednesday. As noted previously, gold posted a positive pattern on Tuesday and it has managed to hold support, and that support has become much stronger. On Monday, I also said that gold desperately needed to decorrelate from oil, and it has managed to do that two times this week, which is the first time in many weeks. Silver, in contrast, has moved lower, has been pretty poor, and just avoids closing below key final support. And August gold is now $5 above spot as we get nearer to the rollover. So we'll begin with the dollar index, see a little bit of a bounce from that pretty poor day on Wednesday, have 101.14.5 above. It remains the case that longs place their stop on a daily close below 100.01. On the short-term chart, we've got 183 above and below 131.5 to 24.5 and then 14.5. Moving on to gold in world currency terms, actually managed to make new lows late in the week and a bit of a bounce today. And when we go to COMEX, obviously pretty poor on Thursday, but the really critical thing was that we did not trade below 39.55.4, because if we had done, that weekly support would not have moved to that point. And so we now have a much stronger support than we had previously. And so the stop's pretty easy, daily close below that point. It remains the case that it's going to have to take a daily close above 41.65.8 to really turn the picture positive, and would target 44.03.6. But we've also got a change in the short-term chart. So two things stand out here. Three things really. The first one is we now have a support zone from 39.63 down to 55.40, which of course is also the weekly level. We have a new lower resistance point, which is at 41.12.5. So a daily close above there would be the first sign of strength. However, we do have resistance at 40.32.5, which it stopped just a couple of bucks below that today, but it's also the high volume point, so it is a very important level. We're going to have to start trading above there in order to suggest that we can extend higher. No change on the profile, point at most time a long way away. On silver, we just about managed to avoid a close below 56.13 on a settlement basis, just by a few ticks. What it does mean is that the stop for people who want to stay long has actually widened, and now it's a daily close below today's low at 55 even. We do have 58.20 and then 62.18.5. It's going to need a daily close above there in order to turn this chart and positive and leave some room for the upside. Highlighting some of the problems is on the short-term chart, we just have lots and lots of levels above, and so lots of hurdles to get over before we can start getting our bullish boots on. So in conclusion, dollar index trend is up, place top on a daily close below 100.01. Gold trend is sideways with a positive bias. First sign of decorrelating from oil, 2 days this week. Going to remind you though that 2 days does not make a trend, but it's still a positive sign. Longs place stop on a daily close below 39.55.4. That support is much stronger than previously. Daily close above a new lower level at 41.12.5 is the first sign of strength. And a daily close above 41.65.8 targets 44.03.6. Gold trend is up, believe it or not, but technically poor, especially compared to gold. Place your stop on a daily close below 55 even, which has widened. It's going to take a daily close above 62.18.5 to leave space to rally. And here are your supports and resistances. Okay, thank you.